C, reconvene. C1, regular meeting. C2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now observe a 30-second moment of silence. Thank you. We'll go to D, presentation, D1, choir presentation. And the governing board will be going outside to the courtyard.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Langston Graders from Carroll G. Grant. So let's give our banders another round of applause. Really quick, like this is show, Miss Langston is these Hills, our friend's classroom teacher, and although their music teacher was not able to make it tonight, she stepped up to the plate to ensure that they could be here to perform for all of our special guests tonight. So let's give her a round of applause. So thank you again for the performance. If you'd like to stick around, I know that there's cookies and lemonade in the back, but we will reconvene our board meeting. Oh, okay. We want to picture with our campus. So just stick around.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a great performance. I want to say thank you to the parents. I want to say thank you to the students, the learners. I also want to thank the staff and also the teachers and the teacher. That was great. Does anybody else want to comment on the choir performance before we move on to E? Hearing none. All right. We're going to E, oath of office. If we can welcome Ms. Rocio Santana. Rocio, will you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Rocio Santana, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, support the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Governing Board Member of Alhambra Elementary School District, number 68, according to the best of my abilities, so help me God. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Rocio Santana, and I'm very excited to be here and to be a board member. I really try really hard to be here because I really want to make changes for the kids at the school, and I hope I could be a very good help for that.
Thank you. And Rocio, if you can make sure you stay until the end of the meeting, because we need to sign and notarize your paperwork, okay? Going to F1, public comment. There are no public comments today. Going to G, consent agenda. I call for a motion that the governing board approve consent agenda items G2 through G9.
I move that the governing board approve consent agenda items G2 through G9.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving to H, business development. H1, AESD classroom AV technology refresh, Smart EMIC. And we do have a presentation from Mr. Tanner. Mr. Kent, sorry.
President Conchas, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Maez, Alhambra community, I'm very pleased to speak to you tonight about a possible classroom AV refresh. I want to make sure that we're perfectly clear that this is not a guarantee. This is just us providing some information about where we're at in this process. It's important to know that this isn't something that's just been in the past few days or weeks. It's actually been several months of research, discussions, fact-finding as we prepare for a possible AV refresh. because we want to meet the needs of our teachers and our students. Even during COVID, we were considering our options, and I just wanted to come to you today to share where we're at with things. So considering where we've been in Alhambra, all the way back in 2005, we purchased our first smart boards. Now, how this technology works is that there is an interactive display, a surface at the front of the room with a projector that sends an image to that display, where teachers are able to write on things, interact with their computer because of this interactive surface that's at the front of the room. Ever since 2005, we've leveraged the technology from Smart called Smart Notebook, where teachers are able to create lessons that they're projecting on the board and interacting with. And again, we've had this since 2005. In 2010, we purchased new projectors because the ones that we had in 2005 had met their end of life. In 2015, the first boards that we had in 2005 had met their end of life, and so we did a refresh of smart boards across the district. Also at that same time, we purchased new projectors, and you can see that our projector timeline is about every 5 years, with our smart board being every 10. We also purchased new projectors. After that, we added Apple TVs with the goal of a classroom teacher not being tethered to the back of the room via cables, but being able to connect their laptop or iPad wirelessly to the projector that's projecting on that smartboard screen. We also, in 2020, did another round of projector refresh because the ones that we had kind of on that 5-year timeline were starting to go out and not be as effective. Parts were no longer available, support and warranty was no longer available. It wasn't meeting our classroom needs, where we had too many outages to continue down that path. So we find ourselves at a 5-year, 10-year juncture, and it's not that we just buy technology because, ding, it's been 5 years or 10 years. It's our opportunity to evaluate our needs, see how things are working, because we want to make sure that we have that consistent access for our teachers and not have interruptions to instructions if we can do anything about that. It's important to note that the technology that we had in 2005 and 2015 with an interactive surface and a projector putting the image on that surface is obsolete technology. So there is no more interactive surface that we mount to the wall that has a projector shine that display image on it. The industry has since changed technology because of the lifespan of these devices and gone with more of, think of a television almost, if we're looking for AV technology, usually in a classroom or conference space. In technology, there's something called a bathtub curb, and so I want you to consider when we buy a vehicle. So that vehicle is manufactured in the factory, and before it leaves the factory, they do some quality control. They see how well is that vehicle working. Oh, we need to tighten this, we need to change that. Somebody who was working on the axles today, you know, might need a better rest because they didn't tighten things up. So we need to fix things before it leaves the lot. And so they do a burn-in period or just a lot of quality control and testing before it ever leaves the factory. And this isn't just vehicles, this is technology included as well. And once it leaves the factory and it hits a showroom floor or a warehouse for sale, it has a reasonable, usable life, where we maintain our vehicles, we buy spark plugs, we do oil changes, replace belts here and there, and it serves a useful life. Once something is beyond its useful or supported life, we start experiencing issues with them. So with our vehicle, no matter how much we baby it and how many potholes we try to avoid, at some point in time, cost of repair or parts availability and just the functioning of that vehicle isn't a cost-beneficial solution to keep maintaining my vehicle from decades ago. So with our current projectors and technology that we have, we've had a previous failure rate of the projectors of about 10 per month. And so for a classroom setting, this is at any moment, the projector might just stop working. So they take bulbs and bulbs burn out, and then there's also technology within the projectors that fails as well. We've recently, in the past month or two, have a increase in the failure rate where we've gone from 10 per week, or 10 per month to 10 per week across our district. It's important to note that our current smart boards that we purchased in 2015, reached their end of support from the company in 2022. Considering that technology's role is to support our classrooms, we want to ensure that people are safely connected to the resources, that they have the resources are available, we're efficient, we're accommodating. We consider that we want our teachers to have consistent access. So not that I just lucked out at a particular building that has the funds in order to have technology for me. I wish that I was over at a different site that did have this available. We want all of our teachers in Alhambra to have consistent access to the same resources for our students. We want whatever we have to be supportive of teachers. If it's another burden, if it's something that the cost doesn't outweigh the benefit, it's not of vision that we want to have for our teachers. It's not going to be supportive of what they're trying to accomplish in the classroom. Reliable, we don't want a teacher to walk in and fear that it's not going to work today. All of our teachers can be guaranteed that when they turn on the light switch, the lights in their classroom are going to work. Child nutrition ensures that our teachers and principals are never worrying, are our kids going to be fed today? Technology, to me, it is a utility. There should never be a question of, is it going to work for me to the best of our ability to control that? Likewise with smooth. When I'm in front of a classroom, I want to be able to transition easily, effortlessly between what I'm trying to do and accomplish in my lessons so that there's as minimal interruptions as possible, as little downtime for student instruction. Whether that's switching, connecting, configuring, settings, whatever that might be, we want those to be as a minimum. Knowing that in Alhambra, doing our research, relying on our data, we're grounded in less than 12 months, we've had over 700 repair tickets for our smart boards. We've had over 600 tickets for projectors. We've had over 600 tickets for Apple TVs. We've had over 50 repair tickets for classroom speakers. It's heartbreaking to me that we've actually had teachers reach out to the technology department and request overhead projectors because to them that is reliable, that is consistent, that's their last familiar technology that was tried and true, and they're dedicated to their students and they want something that's going to be there for them. To me, it's the equivalent of we have a jam-packed day that we've planned, doctor's appointments, errands that we're going to run, we get into our vehicle and it doesn't start. That's not what we want to have for our teachers. Since 2005, we've had that smart notebook. Earlier this year, we had a decision that we did not renew some premium features. We had a lot of teachers that were worried and panicked, thinking that all of their lessons that they have been building using the software all the way back since 2005 might be gone. And so we assured them that no, it was not gone, but this helped inform us to the use of the smart notebook platform, that to consider other options outside of this might cause a lot of heartache on our teachers. We also have familiarity since 2005 with the smart notebook software, and so we would likely want to go in that direction so that there would be a lessened learning curve. Considering our vision for classroom technology and our reality, we're at a juncture where we're looking to evaluate so that we can achieve our vision and support our teachers and our students with learning. We find ourselves in a Goldilocks moment, considering that this school year we've implemented a new math program that has some training demands on our teachers. Next year we're not implementing a new program. There's conversation and examination of an ELA program that might be implemented in the 26-27 school year. So this upcoming school year, we find ourselves without those demands, knowing that a technology purchase is going to have some training, but not nearly the amount of a program or curriculum adoption that we wouldn't want, in my opinion, to put on top of an instructional program that our teachers are trying to learn. As we've examined, done our research, one of the options that has emerged and that achieves our vision that our teachers have some familiarity with is Smart's MX board. You see it on the left-hand side of your screen. It's the same vendor, the same family as our 2005 and our 2015 boards. We have several teachers and departments that use a previous version of the MX board that we're considering, and it has had positive feedback. It's important to note that this is an all-in-contained unit. So when we're thinking currently, we have a projector, we have a wall-mounted surface, we have a speaker in the ceiling, we have feet and feet and feet of cabling between the two. Everything is contained within this device. We're also considering the purchase of a document camera and a mouse and keyboard in this package that I will explain in just a moment. Some features about the MX board. First, we're wanting to make sure that it's a sound investment if we go this route. So when we're considering lifespan, it has a lifespan of at least 50,000 hours. And so in doing the math of a 10-hour school day or it being on for 10 hours, 180 days in the school year, we're looking at a life expectancy of at least 27 years. We have some size options available to us. Our current smart boards, think back when we had tube televisions that they were squares, and then when we went with flat screen TVs, they became rectangles and things were in widescreen. Our current smart boards are 77 inches diagonally square. MX boards that we're considering are rectangular, and we have a 75 or an 86-inch option. Bigger, more expensive. We do want equity across our campuses, and again, not that I lucked out with the big boards, and I'm sorry that you have the small boards. We would likely want to go in a direction that was universal across all of our campuses. It's important to note that the stand that it is on is height adjustable. It is going to about my shin at its lowest, so great for our preschool students. It goes quite high, so if I'm in an older classroom or I'm a teacher that's just taller, I have that ergonomic ability. Also, it supports our students with different accessibility needs, so I can change the height of it as I wish. There's buttons on the side, there's an app on the board that controls that height if I wanted to move it up and down for my height versus a kindergartner's height, small group, whatever that might be. It's also important to note that the stand that it's on makes it very portable. We would place this board on our Wi-Fi, so the only demand that it would require is an outlet to plug it in. This means that it can go classroom to classroom, building to building. If the one in my classroom is faulty because no technology is perfect, we can grab the extra one that's in the science lab, slide it in my room, plug it in, and I can continue teaching without a beat. Currently, we're climbing up into ceilings using ladders, moving tiles, trying to analyze cable runs in order to get functionality if there's an issue. As far as connection features, some of our teachers currently are connecting hardwire to our current technology where they're running a cable between their device and the projector in order to get its image on the wall. That's also the requirement, is to be plugged in hardwire in order to have that interactive features. We currently have AirPlay throughout our district, which is an Apple-based functionality. Only Apple products can send that image using AirPlay. It is an option with the MX board, so it has great familiarity with our teachers. They know how to AirPlay, and they would be able to do that here as well. Additionally, it has an app that's available that allows us to connect to the board in order to have the image and also have that touch feature that I can be anywhere in the room with my laptop, with my iPad, and be able to cast to the board. It also supports that right now, if we have outside partners that are not on our network or not on a Mac device, we're tethering them with a cable. This would allow them to connect, in theory, from anywhere in the world and allow them to present information. We would approve them connecting, and they would be able to display information up on the screen. Really cool features also with this app is that we can almost do picture-in-picture or 4 screens at the same time. And so if I'm doing a math lesson and I want to feature 4 different students or teams of students doing work, I can see them and have them for the class to look at the same time. I can pick on a particular team, make it bigger, and be able to effortlessly move back and forth using that app that comes with the board. So considering that the board itself is a computer, so that's a big shift from what our current technology is, where I have to have a computer or an iPad connected to the projector to have that image. This is an all-encompassing computer. And so that's why we're talking about having a mouse and keyboard, because then I could be anywhere within the classroom and interacting with the board. I don't have to physically be standing next to it in order to interact. I could also turn that keyboard and mouse over to a student and have them control the board from their desk versus having them walk up. Additionally, the feedback that we've gotten of teachers, our current technology is that we have an iPad that has to AirPlay in order to get to the projector to use as a document camera. It's not easy to transition between my laptop and my iPad and back and forth. Likewise, the stand that it's on isn't the easiest to navigate. I'm trying to cram my iPad into the stand. This would be a document camera that is completely wireless, again, on our network. If I wanted to use it on the board, again, being a computer, I open up the app for the document camera. It's on, it's working. This document camera is rechargeable battery, so I can be anywhere in my classroom featuring student work if I wanted to. We've had some comments from teachers that they don't connect their laptop because they don't want to tie it up. Instead, they use their iPad. This, they wouldn't have to tie up their iPad or their laptop. They'd be able to pull up files directly on the board, sign right into Google, open up Chrome, do whatever they wanted to, because again, it's its own self-contained device. Again, achieving that consistent and reliable technology for our teachers across the district. Knowing that everything has a learning curve, we're considering doing something different from what we've done in the past. In the past, we've rolled in hardware and then done training. The idea with this being that we would do training beforehand and then have the devices available, along with ongoing hands-on training made available so that teachers can maximize this technology. Again, there is some familiarity because it's a smart product, so we have a great number of our staff who are using Smart Notebook and have familiarity. We have Apple AirPlay that we'd be able to connect to. So there is an advantage to going with a product in the same family that we're familiar with. Considering a possible timeline, we want to ensure that our teachers have access to resources. Considering that we also want to provide teacher choice, a possible timeline is that we would receive boards and allow different phases for teachers to elect to have this technology in their room. So if I'm a teacher that I want this as fast as I can, it would be that we would provide this technology after they've completed the first training window, if they opted into that first window of time, that after we're done with that state testing in our 3th through 8th grade rooms, during the month of May, they would be able to receive their boards and be able to experiment with it, do some lessons with it, play with it. If I don't want to be in the first round because it's too much for me, I want to let some others go first and see their experience. A second opportunity would be in July to finish up that training, receive the boards before the school year starts. According to this possible timeline, our new teachers, this would be the technology that they would see in their classroom, part of our new teacher package, how we make sure rooms are pristine for them. We wouldn't train them on old technology to then pivot training back to this again. And then having a final 3rd round of training that would be available to anybody who has not yet engaged in rounds 1 and 2. for them to receive boards in November. And then it's important to note that all of these have built-in overlap. We've heard a lot of feedback from other districts where they just stripped the old, brought in the new, and teachers were left to figure it out. This has every training window where I have my old familiar technology on the wall in the ceiling while I have this new piece of technology. So if there's a moment where I just can't do it, it's beyond me, I still have what I'm familiar with, and we'd communicate those dates at which this is when we're looking to start removing that old technology. So all of them having that overlap time. With our phases, there wouldn't be a cap. If 80% of our teachers were very excited with this, we want to support them. And to me, that's technology's job, that if we have teachers who are interested in that first phase, then we would meet them where they're at in order to supply the boards to them. Considering that it's portable and mobile and everything I need is within the board, having them throughout the campus allows for those quick swaps. So if something isn't working right and it truly is faulty, we can swap in a board from the science lab, because Kent's not in the science lab today, and be able to have a teacher up and running. These would be wherever we currently have smart boards in our classrooms, potentially in our coaching rooms or our TC rooms or counseling rooms or libraries or labs. We would not replace our current gyms and MPRs with our big group area AV systems. When we have our current technology and it's malfunctioning and we need to buy parts for it, or bulbs, or we have to do cabling, or have people come out to support us to get in the ceiling and trace wiring, all of that is an M&O expense, a maintenance and operations expense. And that's the same pot of money that we're funding salaries out of. With this purchase, if we were to go this route, it would be a capital investment, a different set of funds than where we fund staff salaries out of. Looking at, we have options for size, again, that 75 versus the 86-inch board. We have prices listed up on the screen. So a 75-inch board is a little over $2,600, an 86-inch board being over $3,800. Same stand at about $1,000. The quantity on the screen of 650 is a high estimate. We would not exceed this. This is more than enough just to get our quoting purposes, and that's the number used throughout all of our options. So consider this your entree being the board and the stand. Looking at having the software with our premium features to take advantage of the full functionality of the board is about $150,000 for all of the boards that we've put in place. Another side dish that we have available to us is the document cameras. And again, 650 of those is a little over $250,000. We have here on the screen the shipping freight costs for this if we were considering our main entree and these two sides that would impact our classroom teachers from the vendor that you have quotes for. Additionally, a side that we have available to us is purchasing a mouse and keyboard. When we've interacted with the board, it's a lot simpler and smoother to type on a keyboard versus have to hunt and peck on a screen. And also having that allows the mobility throughout the campus, or the classroom, excuse me. Just like when we're considering an entree, the kitchen needs pots and pans in order to create the meal. This is a management software that allows us to ensure boards are safe, that their settings and permissions are getting updates as vendors release them. So all in pricing here for the 75-inch board, again, and all of these accessories for 650 of them, all in pricing for an 86-inch board and all of the accessories that we've talked about so far. So with that, are there any questions that I can answer?
We'll take questions from the board. I have questions. Any questions?
I don't necessarily, this is Garth Ann. I don't necessarily have any questions, but I do want to comment on the thoroughness of your presentation, Mr. Kent. I think you were very specific in your examples of where we're at and where our technology has gone over the last 20 years, and why we are at this point in time where we need to invest this money if we want to keep our schools and our schools and our classrooms up to standard as far as education goes and as far as presentations of instruction. It is important that in this day and age our students have access to as much technology as they can, and that goes for our teachers as well, but also our students many times know more than our teachers, it seems like, because they're very familiar with using technology. And I think it's important that we keep building their skills with the technology as we go ahead. I like the way that you had it in 2 phases, because I'm one of those that's afraid I'll always break the technology. So it's nice to have the opportunity for those who are gung-ho, get in there and get them on campus. And then they actually become a mentor and a resource on the campus for those that are kind of like, not sure if I push the wrong button, what'll happen. And kudos for making sure that the new teachers don't waste time learning old technology and move right on to the new technology. Bigger is better, in my opinion. If we have the money, I would go with the bigger boards, but if not, then we do what we can do. I wasn't sure, will the art rooms and the music rooms, will they have, I understand the gyms won't, but the art rooms and the music rooms, they will have this technology available to them. And then you explained all the other ones that were going to be available. All right, thank you much. I appreciate your thoroughness, and I love the analogies. I don't like my car breaking down on the day I have to go to the dentist appointment, so thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. De Ocampo.
Yes, just to echo, I would just say, I also appreciate your thoroughness. Also, the part that I like the most is the training components. I think people feel weary about it, they feel discouraged, they feel hesitant. All those things can come up while trying to, educate our learners. And so that would just be helpful. Just some food for thought is, I think after everybody gets onboarded, or mostly everybody gets on board, if there could be potentially like a follow-up of some sort, just to see if there's any tips or tricks that people have learned to help it more seamlessly. And then just with that being said, I know this would help too with transitioning. I can tell from my visits that sometimes just going from one section or one, component of the lesson to another, there's just some transition hiccups that can happen, and that can just take that all away. So thank you for all sharing all that.
Mr. Menard.
Hello. So I also agree that bigger is better. Typically we would want to save money, but I also thought about site and also thought that our classrooms are going to be maybe getting more students in them because our enrollment is going down. So more students, more screen space. And then in terms of timeline, I do want to tell you that when I saw this proposal, I was not convinced, and you convinced me. So you could sell me beachfront property in Arizona. But that was very thorough, and you have a great timeline. So my timeline is, my question is about timeline for purchase and for proceeding, because we know that there could potentially be different policies in terms of economic policies of tariffs and things like that in 2025. How quickly could we get this done?
So that's where what we know is the future is uncertain. We have pricing in front of us right now. We've had a very responsive and supportive vendor that we've talked about this timeline, and I'm confident that we would meet it and have, if we wanted to pull the trigger. And we had hundreds of teachers who wanted to be in that first round. Technology and our facilities team doing everything that we can to meet our teachers' desire, because if they're wanting it and they're finding it that this would be beneficial to them, we would make it happen.
And this is a question for the superintendent and also for Dana. The motion is to consider the refresh, the proposal to consider. Does that mean that we're also approving the potential dollar amount, or no?
We're asking for your approval of up to that, and then we're working quickly to make the best decision for the district, and we'll update you once that decision is made before we head out for break.
Okay, I trust you, and I want to do it now. I was like, could we say up to a certain amount? Is that possible?
Up to the amount on the board agenda is what we're asking.
And how much is that dollar amount?
It's a matter of finalizing which rooms need boards as well. So because I know Mr. Kent overestimated, and Ms. De Ocampo, we will definitely include our special area teachers, but there are rooms that that possibly aren't classrooms, and so that's why it's finalizing all those details.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, I'm just showing my enthusiasm, and let's get this thing done. So any other discussion? All right, all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I agree with whatever we talked about.
I call for I move that the governing board approve the proposal to consider an AESD technology refresh. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Sorry, it's because we have to put the presentation or the motion, so I thought we were in the motion. Okay. H2, financial report. The submitted monthly report provides the district's financial status as of the report date, November 4th, 2024. Moving to I1. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the submitted revised 2024-2025 support staff salary schedule.
I move that the governing, I'm sorry. The minimum wage increase one? Okay, sorry. I move that the governing board approve the mandated minimum wage increase effective January 1st, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Navarez. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Any discussion? Mr. Ocampo, do you have any discussion?
Nope, it's well deserved. They always need more money.
Mm-hmm. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, going to new business. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the deed of easement, abandonment, and dedication with the City of Phoenix at Alhambra Elementary School District Choice Learning Academy.
I move that the governing board approve the easement, abandonment, and dedication with the City of Phoenix at Alhambra ESD Choice Learning Academy.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to J2. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the social media resolution to pursue claims for damages arising from AASD students' use of social media.
I move that the governing board approves the social media resolution to pursue claims for damages arising from AASD students' use of social media.
Thank you, Mr. Navarez. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Discussion?
I'll just say, practically speaking, as a millennial, or as someone called me, a geriatric millennial. 85. You know, we were raised in an area in a time of social media and internet, and we really had no idea what was happening to our chemistries as adolescents. Now we know, and we know better, and I believe it is appropriate to do what we can as a district and as leaders to ensure that our kids are not exposed to many of the things that, frankly speaking, we were exposed to, and whatever we can do in that arena, I believe would be wise and appropriate to ensure that we have a healthier student class.
Any other discussion? Ms. De Ocampo, do you have any discussion or any question?
Manuel, if you're in the geriatric age, I must be in, I don't know what, I'm way past that. I grew up without a television, so no, I have no comment. Well, no
Okay.
questions.
Thank you. My comment is that this is at no risk to the district, so it's a win-win for everybody. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to J3, Agreement for Purchase and Sale. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the agreement for purchase and sale of real property to the City of Phoenix, subject to final corrections as approved by the superintendent.
I move that we approve for the agreement and purchase sale of the real estate property of the City of Phoenix as
Subject
subject to corrections per our superintendent.
subject to final corrections as approved by the super.
Final corrections as approved by our superintendent.
Thank you. And can we get a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Mr. Narvaez. Discussion? It's a big deal.
We need to pay for those screens. That's
What I was thinking. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, moving to K, board policies. K1, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the first reading and adoption of policy DJE, bidding and purchasing procedures.
I move that the governing board review and adopt the proposed changes to policy DJE, bidding, purchasing, and procedures.
Thank you, Mr. Solorio. Is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Mr. Navarez. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving to K2. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the first reading and adoption of policy IHA, Basic Instructional Program.
I move that the governing board review and adopt the proposed changes to policy IA, Basic Instructional Program.
Thank you, Mr. Navarez. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Oropesa. Discussion?
I've been here 4 years. I still never got the acronyms. What is an IHA? What is I? What does that stand for? Where's this policy coming from?
The I policy?
Yes.
Those are instructional policies.
Okay. Okay. And so this is proposed by our district. By ASBA. Okay, I got it. All right.
Yeah, so HB 2779 amended ARS
Oh, there it is.
70102 to increase the required instructional time on the Holocaust and other genocides.
I see. I see.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. We're going to K3. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the first reading and adoption of policy JFB, open enrollment.
I move that we approve and review and adopt the proposed changes to policy JFB, open enrollment.
Thank you. Mr. Oropesa, is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you. Mr. Navarez, any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Moving to K4, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the first reading and adoption of policy JHD, exclusions and exemptions from school attendance.
I move that the governing board review and adopt the proposed changes to policy JHD, exclusions and exemptions from school attendance.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Moving to K5. K5 is an informational item, change to regulation JLCD-R medicines, administering medicines to students. Moving to comments and communications. L1, comments from governing board members.
All right, I suppose I'll take it. This is my last governing board meeting. I'm very proud of everything that's been accomplished in the last 4 years. And I'm very encouraged by the fact that another parent is going to take the seat, which is very, very good. And so I'm a preacher, so I have a sermon, but you know what? It's 7:06, so we're gonna call. All right. So here's the thing. All good districts, governments, any even personal characters are all held. Good policies are held in tension, right? So they're held in tension, which means that our leaders. What makes a great leader is a person who understands the tensions, almost like a tent pole that holds up a tent. Tent poles hold up a tent. Everything's in tension. And so good leaders understand that, and it is very hard to understand the tensions in a governing board, in a school district, know it, and then continue to move forward. That's what good leaders do. They know the tensions and they move forward. And so that can go many, many ways. I would just simply say, as a parent representative, doing what's in the best of the children and getting parents involved, many times those are two tensions. Sometimes they feel opposite, but it is wise and important to have both of those included. And so as a parent, I encourage the school district to continue, and our school district has always been adamant on getting as much parental involvement as possible to continue to pursue that. Because though it's difficult, and sometimes it feels like it's almost not worth the effort, we can get this done without parents. It is wise to do that because good principals and good organizations have those principles in tension, okay? And so to understand that, you know, our board is a very a diverse board. We have all kinds of backgrounds and decisions, all kinds of tensions, but we work very well because we understand that. And it's the same thing for cabinet members and all good organizations. Good doctrine is held in tension. That's same for us. So may we continue to acknowledge and know there are good things that pull against each other that keep us straight, right? That's how you keep a path straight. And so I've been very honored to be one of the tensioners in our governing board, and I'm very proud of all of the success that we've had, and may it continue in the future. Thank you. Five minutes, not bad.
Any other? Go ahead,
Mr.
Ms. De Ocampo.
I have had the pleasure of sitting next to Manuel for the last 2 years. It's been my joy to learn from him and to experience his sense of humor, which you don't always see, but which behind the scenes is always there. I've appreciated being able to share our tensions with you. And thank you for being a part of our board. You really have helped us with representing the parent perspective. I also wanted to give kudos to transportation and the maintenance department and whoever else helped put on that fantastic bus in the light parade. That was an awesome accomplishment for us and was noted by many in the community. When I went for my swearing in at the Maricopa County Superintendent's office, first thing Steve Watson said to me was, "You guys had a bus in the light parade." So we were definitely noted for that. I am thankful to all of you who have been put out of your office for the sewer mess. I don't know what else to call it. And hopeful that there will be a quick resolution. It's awkward that it happened at a time when businesses and offices are not necessarily quick to respond because of the holidays. But thank you for all being so flexible and working with that. I want to also, excuse me, I seem to have, I'm losing my voice here. I wanted to send thank yous to all of the wonderful teachers and students who have sent me these great thank you notes. When you're flat on your back in bed and can't do anything, it's awesome to open up a package of little notes with unicorns and rainbows and hearts and graphic arts that students have sent. Students who don't even know me, but who are wishing me goodwill. My last thing would be congratulations to Rocio. Welcome to being on our board. And then happy holidays to all of you. And I hope that you have great joy celebrating with family and friends, that you enjoy your time off, that you take some time to refresh, relax, and get ready to be back in January to hit it again. Thank you and happy holidays to all.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I also wanted to extend my gratitude for the service of Mr. Oropeza. He joined at a very interesting time and has gone through a whole pandemic and all the things that are associated with that, with a leadership change and all of the tough decisions that were made there. And I've definitely appreciated his insight, his opinions, and I think our district was definitely it has benefited from his presence here, and we'll miss him here. And I'm also glad that we maintain our teacher representation, so thank you for passing that baton, or the parent representation.
Yeah, real quick, thank you, Mr. Oropeza, as well. Just me being the baby board member until today, I really just try to gain as much insights from all of you, but specifically just really trying to hear your perspective and just try to take note and learn from that. And I appreciate just what you've been able to share with us throughout this time.
You know I'm long-winded too. So tonight I want to take a moment to reflect on the journey that we've shared and recognize the incredible people who have been a part of it. And as we come to an end of my first term as your board president, as your board member, I'm fulfilled with gratitude to everything we have accomplished together, and I'm not going anywhere. Our mission of educating the whole child has been at the heart of every decision we've made, and together we've worked tirelessly to ensure that our students are academically prepared, socially supported, and emotionally empowered, whether it was investing in critical resources, prioritizing access, or supporting our teachers and staff. These achievements are a testament to the power of our collaboration. And I want to take a moment to recognize Mr. Oropesa. Tonight we honor you, we honor your family, we honor your children, and we honor your work. Thank you. Over the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of serving alongside you. You are not only a parent and a pastor, you're just an unwavering community leader. Your thoughtful approach to decision-making has left a lasting mark not only on the board, on the community, but also on myself. You made me a better leader. I will always cherish our time campaigning together and knocking on doors in the heat. We were connected with our community and we had a reaffirmed commitment to serving our kids. Though your time on the board is ending, I know that your impact will continue, not only here in Alhambra, but across the globe. And as neighbors, because we are neighbors, we live one street away from each other, I look forward to driving past your house and saying hi. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. Let me start by being funny so I can not cry. When Mr. Oropesa and I got on the board, I was like, who the heck is this guy? And then after a year, 2 years, like you're going to be a lifelong friend, and we need to stay connected. Thank you for everything. Thank you for keeping me humble, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Lupe. Appreciate it. You can help me remodel my bathroom.
No, thank you. All right. Any other comments? All right. Oh, I'm sorry. One last point of personal privilege. Tonight is my last night as your governing board president. And I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity for the past 3 to be in the seat. And we have done so much, Dr. Mayas and I working together. Dana, thank you for helping me with these meetings and everything. I really appreciate it all. Of course, I'll be here for the next 4 years, but I will not be seeking board president in January. Thank you. Thank you, because I forgot that I'm still running the meeting. L2, governing board direction and/or agenda item requests. Any? All right, hearing none. Going to comments from the superintendent and executive team.
I'm going to begin and end our comments this evening, but my first, I would like to address Mr. Oropesa, so if that's okay, I'm going to do it from the podium. Good evening, everyone. And President Cochas, I will miss you, working with you, even though we'll still, of course, work together all the time.
It's not about me, it's about him.
I know. But I just thought, oh, Mr. President
Thank you.
Cochas. All right. But Mr. Oropesa, tonight we have the privilege of celebrating someone who has made a profound impact on our Alhambra community. I am honored to recognize Mr. Manuel Oropesa for his 4 years of dedicated service to our students, staff, and families as a board member. Mr. Oropesa's unwavering commitment to our district's mission has been evident in everything he has done, whether it has been supporting our schools or advocating for students and for parent voice as well. His leadership and passion have left an incredible mark on our district. On a personal note, Mr. Oropesa, I think about just the fact that your support and how much I have appreciated your support. I know you're one of 5 board members who selected me as a superintendent, and every day I wake up humbled and just so honored to serve the 10,000 children in our community and our over 1,200 employees. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for trusting me to do that job and for all your support. Mr. Oropesa, on behalf of the Alhambra community and the governing board, thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and the legacy you leave behind. I have a plaque for you, if you wouldn't mind coming up here to receive it, and it's a token of our appreciation for your outstanding contributions, and we are truly grateful for all you have done. Let's give Mr. Oropesa a round of applause as we celebrate his service to Alhambra.
Can we get a board picture? Yeah, of course. We're gonna have to Photoshop Garth. Peaceful transition should be celebrated.
And then we'll continue our updates. If we can begin with Dr. Slover.
Governing Board President Conchas, Governing Board members, and Superintendent Dr. Mayas. In May, art teachers across the district submitted student art pieces for the Summer Art Committee. The committee selects 40 pieces to submit to the Traveling Art Exhibition sponsored by Young Arts Arizona. Last Friday was the Passages Gallery opening of this traveling art exhibition. Families, students, teachers, and administrators praised our talented students. This artwork will remain on display in the gallery until February. From there, the student artwork will travel around the state for over a year. The artwork will be displayed in the Arizona Capitol Legislative Hallway, the Secretary of State's office, the Arizona State Board of Education offices, and at Parsons Medical Centers. Thank you to our creative students for sharing their work with us, to our talented art teachers, and to the Summer Art Committee. Make sure to check out our district website under Extracurricular Activities Department, the Fine Arts page where you can see the pictures of the gallery rotating and a slideshow of all 40 pieces that are on display.
Good evening, President Conchas, Governing Board members, Dr. Mayas, our superintendent. I am so excited to celebrate our partnership with Free Bikes for Kids. They have been partnering with our district for a bit of time, but we are now able to partner with them to bring donated and used bikes and helmets and lots of accessories to all of our campuses. They have given us over 100 bikes with all of these bells and whistles, literally and figuratively. And our assistant principals are going to work to align distributing the bikes with our attendance initiative. So those students who have worked so hard to come to school every day and be good learners are going to have an opportunity to get one of these amazing bikes. So just celebrating the partnerships that we have that support our children and our staff. Thank you.
Good evening, President Conchas, Governing Board members, Dr. Mayas, and our Alhambra community. My update is also kind of geared more towards our community. I want to share a message to our employees. I want, on behalf of the Human Resources and Business Departments, want to wish a joyous holiday season and a happy new year. We want to also know in preparation for tax season, you can expect your W-2s to be delivered to school sites in January. We wanted to share that update with employees. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication, and we hope you have a restful break, and thank you to our board members as well. Thank you.
President Conchas, Dr. Myers, and governing board members, Member Deo Campos stole a little bit of my thunder, but I'm pleased to share with you, I was honored to be on the Rudolph bus on the weekend, and it really was a testament to the collaboration and hard work and commitment to excellence of our transportation and facilities and maintenance team. And being able to watch the spectators on the side of the road consistently share and shower appreciation on our bus drivers, and then also exclaim their appreciation for the excellent work. So Director Vanessa Shields' words when we were getting ready to roll was, "All right, Alhambra, we do everything with excellence. This is no different. Let's roll." So we're going to roll a little bit of that experience and send you with a little bit of the joy we got to experience with a brief video.
Watch out for Alhambra's Elementary's Spirited Yellow school bus lighting up the APS light parade tonight, bringing school spirit to the streets. Their incredible team keeps nearly 10,000 students safe and on the move across 16 schools daily. Best of all, Alhambra's transportation team is hiring, so if you're ready to join a group that goes above and beyond, they want you on board.
The antlers on the bus.
Nice touch. We should keep them up.
Yeah. The International Brotherhood of
Good evening, everyone, and I just want to also share my appreciation for everyone. I'm so grateful for our transportation team. And thank you, Mr. Navarez, for joining them as well. I know it made us so proud just to see their hard work and their enthusiasm, and I know they're excited to represent our district once again on Saturday at the Glendale Hometown Parade. And so we are very grateful for their dedication to our district. And I know this time of the year is my favorite. It's been so amazing to go around our district and see all the different performances. Today, Westwood second graders did a marvelous performance, and there was a rock and roll snowman dancing around as the kids sang, and it was just amazing. And Granada West also had a wonderful performance. I know Cordova was very proud of their performance this morning, and just all over the district, recitals, musicals, and that's what's making our kids so happy right now. And so we just appreciate everyone's hard work. And I know, Ms. Stengel, I know I gave you a shout out last time, but once again, your name came up today. Just what an amazing job you do celebrating our special area teachers. So thank you. So again, a big thanks to everyone for all your hard work, and may you have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you for those updates. Going to M, meeting closing. The next governing board meeting will be held on January 16th, 2025. Be there or be square. Going to calendar of events. Winter break. Please enjoy yourselves between December 23rd and January 3rd. Back to school is on January 6th, and the MLK holiday will be on January 20th, and the district will be closed. All right, do I have a meeting to adjourn this meeting? Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Lopeza. Any second?
I second it.
Thank you, Mr. Navarez. All those in favor say aye.
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 2024 is now adjourned. We need your signature, Rocio.